Gabe, back to your question. Jonnu or Henry?
Jonnu or Henry. Who are we drafting? I think it's a little too soon to say, like, where are they being drafted at? But, like, who do you prefer? Who are you picking up? Who are you targeting in your fantasy drafts?
Man, I know I'm a
okay. So, well, we should say, I mean, people watching might not be caught up to date with everything. The Patriots signed tight end Jonnu Smith, and then signed tight end Hunter Henry, which is interesting.
And there's only like I think Jonnu Smith got $40 million and Hunter Henry got like 37. So it's only a few mil difference.
Well, they different years though. Hunter Henry signed a 3-year deal, and Jonnu signed like a 4 or 5 year deal.
I think it's easy. Just go back to who is Cam's best tight end ever, and then who's most similar. I think that's your answer, pretty much.
So what? Because he's white?
No, because he's big. He got hands. He catches 10 to 12 yarders. Hunter Henry, dude. That's just the red zone target. That's what Cam needs.
I think there's a possibility that these are the top 2 fantasy pass catchers on the Patriots. Both of them, to be honest.
Dude.
Edelman.
Yeah, Edelman. I mean, look at the other weapons they added. Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar revived his career in Oakland.
There's James White. I haven't heard anything about him.
I think Cam is more comfortable throwing to the tight ends, though. Yeah.
That would be interesting. I'm going to look that up. How good was Greg Olsen with Cam Newton during his MVP season?
I think he was all pro, to be honest.
He was top 2 tight end like every year.
Yeah.
I mean, the Twitter world was so like eager to jump at the fact that this was just like awful. Like, you ruined our lives, man.
Yeah.
And it's like when you look at it, there were 3 years where Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez played together. 2 of those years, each of them saw 100+ targets, and each of them were like top 10 fantasies, top 10 tight ends for fantasy.
And I guess even before that, Belichick has always ran 2 tight end system.
Yeah, but listen,
and
guys,
it's like you say Brady can't throw it deep. Well, he could throw it short.
First of all, Brady is much better than Noon, and Gronk and Hernandez are much better than Jonnu and Henry. That's number 1, and number 2. And number 3, the problem with it is that in today's NFL, you're paying these guys $12.5 million a year each, $25 million total for 2 tight ends, which is pretty luxurious. When you look at a team like the Niners, let's say, who paid, 16, 17 million a year for Kittle, and then go out and get Jordan Reed for like $2 million. So you got 18 million tied up into Reed and Kittle, or 25 million tied up into these two. Of course, you're going to take the Kittle option, right? It's just a no-brainer. But back to Gabe's original question, Jonnu Smith, and I'll say this right now, is the one that you want because Hunter Henry doesn't stay healthy. And eventually Henry's going to go down with the injury, and Jonnu's going to blow up because you're right. Cam Newton does love his tight end. So as long as he's the quarterback, these guys are both going to be relevant.
Well, Jonnu missed some time last year too. Like right when everybody started to realize, damn, Jonnu's like a top 5 tight end, he started missing games. Yeah. And he's pretty young still. They're both relatively young. At first when I heard this, I was like, oh, this is fantasy dumpster fire. But then I was like, wait a minute. No, it's not. I think they both could, because look, all right, putting up top 10 tight end numbers is not anything special necessarily in fantasy. Like being in the 8 to 10 mark, it's good. You want that, but it's not super difficult to do like wide receiver or running back. So I think that it's possible that we're talking about both these guys like top 12 tight ends if they both stay healthy and play all year. If I have to choose one, I guess I'm going to lean towards Hunter Henry, but I think they're going to use Jonnu kind of like how the Niners use Deebo Samuel, honestly. I think they're going to use Jonnu Smith like that a lot. Because Belichick has talked about how he likes Jonnu after the catch.
He's more of a receiver too, so I mean, it could work.
Yeah, they'll line them both up a lot. I guarantee that.
I mean, Jonnu even ran some snaps out of the backfield.
Yeah, so, and we're talking about it for fantasy, right? But for NFL, this is perfect for the Patriots. Belichick is a freaking genius, man. He's setting the team up exactly. Look, maybe he's not genius for signing Cam. I don't agree with bringing Cam back necessarily. But the way he's setting up the rest of the team around Cam, Belichick's like, I'm not going out like that. And he's trying to build a team where they can win. I think they're going to have a winning record next year. And and possibly make the playoffs because their defense, they signed a bunch of defensive guys too. And they all the guys who sat out last year due to COVID, they're coming back as well. So I think they're going to be actually pretty good. But I still think Cam's going to have like average 200 passing yards a game though.